people who love, cherish, who want to know the Dhamma, and to a certain extent know its value, have come here where Sayadaw is in the winter to take part and practice the Dhamma in this 60-day special retreat. Sayadaw is very satisfied to be able to greet you with the Dhamma. To greet you with the Dhamma and to give you a Dhamma gift as much as he is able in accordance with the Buddha. Sayadaw feels very inspired in his mind. He doesn't feel as though he is one who dispenses the Dhamma from on high. He feels that people who are related on 2 or 3 levels have a chance to become related on a further level by Dhamma blood. And there is the chance for the Dhamma family at large to spread throughout the world and to gain true peace. So he is very happy to have this opportunity. Many appear to be Asians. Many are Asian relatives. And there are people from other continents of the world too. Those who have come here to practice are surely Sayadaw's relatives. Asians, because they have Asian blood, are related as fellow Asians. Having true Asian blood, they are truly Asian relatives. But that is not all. The people of the world have different cultures and different languages. But as human beings, we are completely the same. Therefore, we can say that we are all world relatives, related as humans on this planet. Our refuge, the Buddha, said that in the past, before this, we have lived countless lifetimes. In these lifetimes, we have been related one and another, as parents and children, brothers and sisters. We have all been related by blood. This is what the Buddha said. According to that statement, in this stream of mental and physical phenomena called samsara, we must say that we are also samsaric relatives, related in samsara. Asians like Sayadaw are related naturally on 3 levels. Those from other continents are related naturally as world relatives and samsaric relatives. What is special is that people related in these ways cherish the Dhamma and come here to practice it. Sayadaw is very happy to have the chance to become related by Dhamma. He is prepared to help. Sayadaw trusts that those who have come here will not think that a gift from one of their relatives is something ordinary. He trusts that they understand it is an important gift and will cherish the Dhamma gift and use it with care and respect. Planet of high or low class, or of high or low family group. Out of everyone, no one likes to be low class. With various beliefs and various objectives, people try to better their lives, but only if the method for improving oneself is correct, and only if that method used is systematically used will one be able to improve oneself and to gain a high status. This is realistic, and everyone is of race or religion. And no matter how much worldly education one gains, that won't make oneself wise. No matter how great one's material wealth or how high one's standard of living, this doesn't make one superior. And nowadays, people develop strength and use that to dominate others. But this doesn't make one superior. What can make one superior is knowing that something unjust is unjust, and having moral shame or hiri, and moral dread or ottappa regarding injustice. With these as a base, one needs to have loving kindness and the ability to put oneself in another's place. This is most important, whether as an individual or as a group, is to be truly human, to be a group of true human beings. That is number one. Second is to be able to control one's mind, to keep it humane. Third is to have human knowledge and become a superior human being. This is very important. Scientific techniques and worldly methods can't make us a true human, or a person with a human mentality, or a superior human being having special human knowledge. The thing that can make us truly human, with human mentality and better than average human knowledge, is that which the Buddha Gautama of the Sakya clan searched for by himself and discovered over 2,500 years ago in India. The Dhamma, which was preached by the Buddha over 2,500 years ago, can do this. The word Dhamma is a word that is very familiar to the ears of people who have studied the teachings of the Buddha. However, Sayadaw believes that not everyone understands the profound meaning of this word. This word is filled with meaning. To reveal its deeper meaning, first of all, it bears and elevates the one who practices it. Second of all, it bears the one who practices it in order that the person does not fall down and does not dwell long in samsara. This is the meaning of the word Dhamma. The Bodhisattva saw, looking at people in the world, starting from the top on down, he saw that for most people, greed was very strong. Ordinary wanting, or lobha, excessive, extreme lobha, or greed, and extremely selfish lobha, or greed, only satisfied when it gets what it wants. Having extreme selfish greed and giving in to one's desires, people behave immorally, taking others' possessions, committing sexual misdeeds, lying for one's own benefit. If one only thinks of what one wants, there is no more wish for another's welfare. There's no wish for others to be happy and healthy, or to have good things. One becomes devoid of friendly metta, or loving kindness. Being devoid of friendly loving kindness, there's no patience, forgiveness, giving up what is to one's own benefit and sacrificing for others. And there's no sympathy or compassion either. Just as extreme hatred overwhelms one who lacks metta, cruelty will overwhelm one who has no compassion. One who is overwhelmed like this, who doesn't know any method for controlling himself or herself, or who knows a method but doesn't use it to weaken these tendencies, who just goes with the flow. Such people commit acts of torture and killing. And when envy and jealousy are extreme, a person will become cruel, committing murder, and so on. One commits acts which destroy oneself as well as others. This happens both on an individual level and on a group level. The Bodhisattva saw that people are overwhelmed like this. He saw that without the knowledge of what is beneficial and what is not, what is suitable and what is not, without the ability to consider this, people are as though blind. They don't see the right path, and thus they follow the wrong path and meet up with suffering. This is what the Bodhisattva saw. He too might sometimes go the wrong way. In the world of humans, there are things that shouldn't be. If one accepts these things, one won't be a true human with human mentality. One won't become a person with human knowledge, a superior human being. Therefore, the Buddha sought a method to avoid that, to prevent and cure it, and to uproot it completely. This is what he sought before he became the Buddha. He fulfilled the paramis lifetime after lifetime, and when his paramis were complete, at the last stage, he himself had to search for the truth. He searched for the truth, and when he found it, the Dhamma which he found overcame the transgressive kilesas, or mental defilements. It prevented and cured the kilesas occurring in the mind, the obsessive or pariyotana kilesas, and it uprooted the latent, dormant kilesas that lay in his being. The Dhamma did this. He practiced the Dhamma of Satipatthana and developed Vipassana knowledge. When Vipassana knowledge reached maturity, the Bodhisattva completely uprooted the kilesas to the point of no return through realization of the 4 stages of path knowledge. There were no more defilements left. He came to know the truth of suffering. He knew and dispelled its cause. He knew and realized the peace of the end of suffering, and he discovered and developed the path to cessation of suffering himself. In this way he came to know that which is to be known. He discarded that which is to be discarded. He realized that which is to be realized and developed that which is to be developed. He came to know the 4 Noble Truths. One who knows like this is called Buddha in Pali. This means one who knows the truth for himself came to know the Dhamma. He understood that in order to make others know the true Dhamma, he must first of all understand and work to know it himself. He said, Buddho Bodhiyang. Buddho, only after knowing the true Dhamma, Bodhiyang, will I teach so that others too may know. He made this huge commitment. According to this commitment, only after he had fulfilled the paramis which lead to Buddhahood did he leave home and search for the true Dhamma and find it. He found it for himself. He was then complete. But his commitment as the Bodhisattva was Buddho Bodhiyang. Only after knowing the truth, after knowing the truth for himself, I will preach. so he still needed to work for others. When he preached for others, if he didn't know the true Dhamma, he would cause them to get into trouble. He would cause them to be miserable. He felt, may they not encounter that misery. Knowing the true Dhamma, stage by stage, may they be happy. With great compassion at the fore, only after he knew did he preach with his own knowledge what he had learned. This is not the type of knowledge that is common today, based on reading and reflecting. Scientists examining things with instruments only know secondhand. The Buddha didn't use any instruments for investigation. He knew correctly. Only when he knew for himself did he preach out of great compassion, so that beings would not suffer. This true Dhamma is still here to this day, because there are people in the world who practice it. Thus the Buddha, as Sayadaw said now, Buddha, only after he knew the true Dhamma did he preach in order that beings could know. He didn't do this for fame or reward. He didn't think, I'm a great teacher. He didn't have this objective. Knowing the true Dhamma, he wanted beings to be free of suffering. What a good objective this is. And these words, that only after knowing the true Dhamma for himself did he teach others, are very realistic. There is the correct practice known by him. This is the method he taught. There is the Dhamma that is gained due to practice. There is the Dhamma, which is the practice. There is the practice of it. And there is the result of the practice, which one comes to possess. One who practices the Dhamma and gains the result is called a Dhamma bearer. If one wants to have a high quality of life, then first of all, one must study the method of practice. This is the start of being a Dhamma bearer, one who is preparing to bear the Dhamma, practicing and coming to possess the practical results of the Dhamma. For example, Sila, the practice of Sila. One should not kill others. The Buddha taught that one should refrain from killing. First of all, one knows that one should refrain from killing. Second of all, one refrains. Then, third, the person that would have been killed is spared, and one's morality is whole. How good this is! Putting the Dhamma into practice is bearing the Dhamma. Because of putting it into practice, one's actions and speech become clean and pure. This is what one gains. One's actions and speech become refined. One possesses refined, cultivated behavior. This is called bearing the Dhamma. If one reaches this stage, the correct method which one has learned and applied keeps one from falling down and falling behind. The Dhamma bearer, the Dhamma bears the Dhamma bearer. It protects one and elevates one. This is the true Dhamma. Because one avoids on a practical level doing what should not be done, one's behavior becomes clean. This is how one experiences being uplifted by the Dhamma. This doesn't happen because a being with supernatural powers commands it. It doesn't happen because one wishes for it. Only when one puts the Dhamma into practice does one get this kind of purity. It is the same way with killing, stealing, adultery, lying, use of drugs and intoxicants, and other misdeeds by way of body and speech. Knowing these actions are base and low, only when one avoids them will one gain physical and verbal purity. So that thoughts of transgression do not occur in the mind, it is necessary to build one's mental strength. Only when one builds one's mental strength will thoughts of transgression not arise. Only when one continues to practice will the potential for transgressions, the roots of kilesas, be eliminated once and for all. Only then will one be a true bearer of the Dhamma. The practice of Satipatthana is a practical Dhamma which can gradually reduce the gross, medium, and refined levels of kilesas or defilements, so that one's body, speech, and mind, all three, will become free of fault, free of blame, and clean, so that they reach a stage of being cultivated and pure. The Buddha himself practiced Satipatthana, and only after practicing it himself did he pass it on to us. Put it into practice and you will see. To the extent you practice, the Dhamma will show its virtue. It is said, Svakato Bhagavata Dhammo. The Buddha himself searched for, and practiced the Dhamma, making his body, speech, and mind completely pure. This is the Dhamma taught by him. Practice it, and you will see that the results are consistent with the practice. Let's use the example of killing. Refrain from killing, either out of moral shame and moral fear, or else out of consideration for others. The result of refraining is that for oneself there is absence of physical transgressions. The result for the other person is that they are spared. Refraining from killing and the practical result of refraining are consistent. This is the virtue of the Dhamma, that it is well spoken, well taught. Svakato. No being with supernatural powers can give this result. Cultivated, refined behavior occurs because one puts into practice the correct method. That is all. A super being can't give this. The Buddha himself can't give this. He can only give us the method. Knowing the method, one who wants to make one's life better, high level, just needs to refrain from doing what should not be done and perform that which should be done. And one needs to practice Satipatthana to completion. If one avoids actions which degrade humans and make them base, one doesn't incur bad results. If one performs and undertakes that which should be done, one gets good results. Knowing this, if one avoids what should be avoided and undertakes what should be done stage by stage until completion, the blood of the Dhamma will gain strength in one's being. The circulation of Dhamma blood will become good. If this good circulation of Dhamma blood occurs in oneself and others, then people with this good circulation of Dhamma blood become Dhamma relatives automatically. When people become related in this way, one and others, each will want what is good for the other. They will never become enemies. Relatives can become divided from each other. Many relatives become separated and go their own ways. But Dhamma relatives don't become enemies with each other. There are no quarrels in the world between those related by the Dhamma. For the most part, people become unified by the Dhamma. At present in the world is seething, boiling, and being destroyed by people who want only for themselves and who blindly follow greed and hatred. It is enough to be terrifying. At present time, it is very much needed for these groups of relatives, Asian relatives, world relatives, and samsaric relatives, to become related by Dhamma blood and to have good Dhamma blood circulating within them, between individuals and between groups, and for the Dhamma blood to become clean and circulate constantly. Sayadaw is ready to help the Dhamma blood be established, to make it healthy, and to help it circulate continuously according to the method of the Buddha. If those who have come here to practice and receive this help understand that it is valuable, if they listen respectfully when they listen, and when practicing, do so respectfully, with meticulous care, and continuously, until they are satisfied, it will be worthwhile his giving the gift of Dhamma. Sayadaw concludes these introductory remarks of the opening ceremony by making the wish that may you who have come here from all over the world be able to practice free of danger, healthily and happily, in order to make it worth giving, in order to make it worth his giving the Dhamma gift. May all be well, happy, and peaceful.